Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about Titan Season 2. So I've already reviewed episode 1, go watch that. I've also reviewed all the other seasons, but I left this one out. I left this one out for the longest time only because, well, not so much that I forgot, it's more like Titans is just a mess, man. And this season was really boring and stuff. Not entirely boring. Like, there are some good moments and everything. The first couple of episodes are all right. And I think everybody can agree that that solo Superboy episode is like the best in the entire season, if not the best episode in the entire series. But then after that solo Superboy episode, the rest of the season is just eh. And so because it's meh, it was never no real good reason to talk about it. But I figured, I talked about the other seasons, might as well talk about this one too. So I think this is around the time the show went to HBO Max. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. And just right off the bat, this season started off terrible by trying to cram in, the actual ending to the first season, and all of like 5 minutes and everything. After that, the Titans decide, you know what, let's take the young people back to the tower and, show them the ropes and stuff like that. And they brought Jason Todd along with them because I guess Bruce was getting tired of him and stuff. I don't understand why it's so hard for these people to write. Jeff Jones, Greg Bertinelli, they're known for doing comic book type stuff. Why is it so difficult for them to try to create a good show? I don't get it. And it's like you can tell the first season tried to be more like the DCEU when it was dark and gritty. But once the DCEU started being more colorful and stuff, they tried to make this season a little colorful and everything, a little bit more humorous, not as dark and gritty. It could have worked out great if they knew how to write, because the costumes look cool, the cast is cool. It's the writing and everything else and the pacing that's just completely off. Once again, it is the Dick Grayson show. It's all about him. It's about him so much that everybody else doesn't even get their own solo episode, really. And if they do, it's infused with something else. Raven was a huge player in the first season where it revolved a lot around her and Dick. But now this season, she's barely there. Her powers have now changed to try to mimic that of the comics and cartoon, but it just looks like goopy paint that's just floating around the air. They attempt to do like Raven type wings. It just doesn't work. I actually prefer season 1 demonic power set that she had, because it just seemed more cinematic in a live action setting and everything. Them, I don't know, they you can tell they ran out of a budget, man. That weird goopy paint looking stuff with her powers just look weird. Her powers are changing and she's barely has any screen time. Things happen around her and it's never truly 100% explained, and it's almost like they just could have cared less, or she was busy with another project. Now, that's what happened in season 3. In season 3, she was busy with another project, and so she was barely in the show. They decided to finally give us Bruce Wayne, and my God, I can't believe what they did. They cast Ian Glenn as Bruce Wayne, the Batman, and he will forever now be dubbed as Old Bruce Wayne. I have nothing against this actor. He's a great, phenomenal actor. I've seen him in tons of stuff. Tomb Raider, Game of Thrones, City of Vice, which one day I will talk about. I've seen this man in a lot of stuff, but my God, he is no Bruce Wayne. He is no Batman. He doesn't look like Bruce Wayne. He has blonde, dirty blonde type hair. his Irish accent kept coming out when he spoke. His mannerisms when he sits down are very posh and don't look like Bruce Wayne. He's sipping on tea. I mean, come on, man. This is not Bruce Wayne. And I feel so terrible because even people who are fans of this dude ripped on this dude, especially in season 3. And the thing is, he's not even really in the show. The Bruce Wayne you see all throughout season 2 is Dick's hallucination. He doesn't appear until the very end. And when he does appear, he's part of Raven's hallucination. And then he finally shows up at the last episode to do some computer hacking trickery on the Bat computer and stuff. And then like him and Dick reconciled. And it's just... Even the CW's Batwoman's version of Bruce Wayne was better than this dude. At least he kind of looked like Bruce Wayne a little bit. But I mean, my God, like what were they thinking and stuff? He doesn't look like the body build of the shadow figure we saw in season 1. He doesn't look like the dream sequence of Batman wearing that giant bat suit from season 1. Lord have mercy. It's like they don't know how to... The people who create this show can't burn in the kitchen, man. They just can't cook. They don't know how to turn that stove on and start burning that food and making it taste good. And it's just like, like burn no flames, man. Like, oh, they just can't. What was they thinking with this? And then like the whole thing is like, Dick Grayson like hallucinate, like I said, about Bruce, and Bruce is just antagonizing him throughout the entire season, even doing the Adam West like bat dance that they did back in the 60s. I'm like, no, man. But at least we got some batarangs out of this when Dick got pissed and threw some batarangs at him, and Bruce caught all 3 in his hand, and you heard the Batman theme and him looking all serious. That was nice, but I just can't see this man as Batman. I'm sorry, I just can't. But him and Dick, like the real Bruce Wayne, they finally reconciled at the end of the season, where Dick's all like, man, like, I'm sorry for blaming you for everything and blah, blah, blah. And you only had my best interests out and stuff like that, right? So you think, cool. After season 1, when he said F Batman and everything, you think, okay, they're finally cool. Because he hated Bruce all throughout season 1. But then you get to season 3... and he's back to hating Bruce again. And Barbara hates Bruce. And Jason hates Bruce. And it's just kind of like, well, what the heck? And then we find out all the terrible stuff Bruce did to him. When Dick was a kid training to be Robin, he took him out to the woods and let Dick get chased by a wolf. And if Dick didn't survive, he would die. And in order to survive, Dick had to kill the wolf. What kind of Batman training is that? Who created this stupid show? Like Jeff Jones, he sucks no matter what because of that DCEU debacle and everything. And Greg Bertinelli, like I said before, season 1s of the Arrowverse were solid. But after that, they just started to suck. So stop giving this man jobs. The flight attendant sucked. Girls on the Bus, never watched that, but it got canceled after 1 season. I don't think he has what it takes. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, get some new showrunners, man. But the biggest disappointment of this entire season was Deathstroke. And I'm just like, dude, you have a perfect, beautiful looking Deathstroke suit. Alright, it's better than the one on the Arrow show. The helmet looks better. The actor actually looks like Slade Wilson, but this is the most boring Slade Wilson I've ever seen. The one from Arrow was a whole lot better in terms of writing and delivery and everything. Basically, this one has a grudge and they do the Judas contract on this, but instead of Tara, they decide to replace her with Ravenger, the Rose version. So it's Rose falling in love with Jason Todd and breaking his heart, and not Beast Boy for some bizarre reason. It should have went to Beast Boy because, like, One, the actor who plays Beast Boy never has anything to do on this show, never has a real solo episode. He still just turns into a tiger and that's it. And from the cartoon series, I don't know about the comic. I don't know who she fell in love with in the comic, but in the cartoon, the animated movie, it was always Beast Boy and stuff. I just don't get how they screw that up. But the relationship between Rose and Jason are basically just, they argue a lot. They say foul mouth things. Then they like each other. Then they screw one time only to fuss each other out again. So it's not even a real relationship. It's the most the functional thing ever. Now I will say the stuff with Rose was actually pretty interesting. Like I liked the actress who played her. But as for Deathstroke himself, he was just lame and boring. So after accidentally killing his son Jericho with a skirmish with that of Robin, the Dick Grayson one, years ago, I think it was probably like 3 or 4 years ago or something like that. He basically the Titans disbanded because they got pissed because Jericho died after Dick lied. And then, so I guess he told them, hey, don't never reform your group or I'll kill you all. And because, he killed Aqua Lad by mistake when he was trying to kill this woman who's from Wonder Woman's homeland. And so, he just retired after that. But then all of a sudden, when he found out the Titans got back together and everything, because Jason Todd got on the news, Titans are back and everything. So then he calls up his daughter and is all like, yo, let's go kill them and everything. And that's basically it. He's not menacing at all and everything. It's just he laid low and, this superhero group decided to get back together. Now I'm pissed off. Let me go after them and everything. He was just so lame. And he's supposed to have a healing factor. And his daughter just stabbed him with a sword and he died. What? They literally established this dude has a healing factor and everything. I don't get it. Now the actress who plays Rose, who plays Ravenger, she's cool and everything. I like the hair. I liked her mannerisms on the show. I liked her acting. I just don't like the costume. It's okay. But the helmet, they can never get the helmet right. Not even in the CW. But she ended up falling for Jason in real life. But then in real life, because the thing is that growing up, she realized she was different. She wanted to meet her father. Her father treated her like crap, but he kept tabs on her. Then, he wanted her to get in the family business and they started doing mercenary stuff together. Then they went after the Titans, and this is when she falls in love with Jason and decided, you know what, I just don't want to do this no more, but he still wants to off them and everything. And so it turns those two against each other. And then next thing you know, her brother Jericho's spirit has been alive in Deathstroke the entire time. So it's kind of like I get he's pissed his son is dead, but his spirit is still inside him and he can talk to him anytime he wants. So why in the world he's going after the team? So Jericho's spirit goes inside Rose and they decide they're going to live together like that. And she joins the Titans at the very end of the season and we see them go on a mission together. However, by season 3, she's completely written off the show. There's no explanation. There's no mention of her. It's like she never existed. It can't be that hard to write. You know what I'm saying? As for the stuff with Wonder Girl, it was cool seeing her and Aqualad together. I like the flashbacks with Aqualad. So these were the first couple of episodes. Things like that was all right. Them building up their relationship, the orange soda, things like that. And so when he accidentally died, she got pissed and furious and wanted revenge. So her and the rest of the Titans told Dick it's time for you to start acting like Batman. And so he concocted a plan to get revenge on Deathstroke. However, when it comes to Wonder Girl, you'd think she would just go after Slade herself, but she doesn't. She's doing this whole contemplating thing of what does she want in her life? Who does she want to be? Kind of similar to the first season when she was just taking pictures of stuff. The Themyscirian ladies don't look like Amazons at all. They're like older looking women in business suits, and they've decided to live in man's world and, work at an art gallery and everything. Then all of a sudden they have to all go back, and she was supposed to go with them, and it's just like these don't look like Amazons. I'm sorry, they just don't. Maybe they aged when they left, like Themyscira and everything, but these don't look like Amazons whatsoever. And I'm like, seriously, they couldn't find bodybuilders. They couldn't go to a gym and find a bodybuilder or at least a supermodel. Because when it comes to Amazons, they ought to look one or two ways, like a supermodel or a bodybuilder. They couldn't hire nobody to look like that. But then this is the thing that's so weird. It's like, God, it's like, oh, this is the part that really pisses me off. The way she died was so stupid. Like, I'm not sure who Donna Troy is. I don't know if she's actually an Amazon, born an Amazon, or is she a human endowed with the power. But she shouldn't be able to die from lightning and everything. When I saw her and Superboy start punching each other, I'm like, cool, they really gonna duke it out. But it was very brief, a couple of seconds. And she mostly doesn't even fight in this show. She just uses her lasso of truth, which I'm thinking, dude, does she not know how to throw a punch or something? Like, get some fighting in this show, man. This is supposed to be on HBO Max. It's supposed to be dark and gritty. Dick Grayson shouldn't be the only person who does hand-to-hand combat and everything. And so then she just gets electrocuted by trying to save a girl and dies after that. And fans just found that so baffling back at the time. It's still baffling now. And the reason why it happened, because she had another project to do. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. When you're contracted to a show, you stay your behind on that show. Plain and simple. But here's the major thing that really irritated a lot of people. The whole Dick Grayson storyline just took up the entire season. And it was the back half of like the part after Superboy and everything. Basically, he feels bad about the whole Jericho thing. And so it's been eating him alive all season, where he been hallucinating about Bruce Wayne and everything. He lied to his friends about how Jericho died. He said he was dead when he got there. In actuality, he used Jericho as bait in everything to lure out Slade. And so when Slade turned around with his sword, he stabbed his son and killed him and everything. His son tried to save Dick. Dick befriended him, the Titans befriended him and everything like that. Now here's the weird thing. When they found out Jericho died by the whole, oh, he was dead when they got there, they got pissed at him and disbanded, right? Here is the thing. They're hypocrites. Every single last one of them told him, do what you have to do, but we need to get Slade because of what he did to Aqualad. So if they was willing and they knew who Jericho was and they used him as bait as well, why aren't they mad at themselves instead of just being mad at Dick? They are hypocrites. Then when they found out the truth of how he died, they got pissed at him again and decided to disband again, knowing Slade is still out there and so are other bad guys, but they decided, you know what, let's just leave and blame everything on Dick. Even Rachel leaves Dick and everything. The only people who stayed was Starfire and Beast Boy and everything. And Superboy was in a coma and everything. So it's like, what the heck, man? Like, y'all literally told him to do this and that to get the Slade. And when that happened, and y'all had y'all fingers in that plan as well, and they wasn't even mad with each other. That don't make no lick of sense and everything. So then afterwards, he decides, oh, you know what? I need to go to prison. So he beats somebody up at an airport and gets locked up. And it's the most boring time I've ever spent watching this show. The first time I watched it straight through. The second time, I just fast forward through all the prison stuff. So after hallucinating and realizing Jericho is alive, he needs to break out. He goes to this one guy, I think named Stu, who builds all the bat suits and all the other suits. And I'm all like, Bruce Wayne came and built his own stinking suit. He has to have an outsider do it. So he becomes Nightwing. He fights Slade with the help of Ravager. And then he, decides he's going to stay on the team. Now, as for Jason Todd's Robin, they actually did a lot of character development with him that, like, they made him more relatable. In the first season, he was just this reckless, psychotic vigilante who just wanted to beat every single, like, bad person there was in a very psychotic kind of way. This season, they mellowed him out some. He's more of an angsty teen. And, he still wants to fight and beat up bad guys and stuff. And when Dr. Light is out, he's all like, screw the team, let's just, like, him and Beast Boy, like, yo, man, let's just go. We know where he's at. And, if we need trouble, we'll just call for backup and everything. So they go on and they get in trouble. He gets caught by Slade and get the crap beat out of him. But, like, they did him so dirty this season. Is like, I guess it's kind of how prickly he was last season. But this season, everybody's giving him a hard time for no reason. He's having, like, okay, he's kind of over the whole, like, Slade beating him up kind of thing. But everybody's just ragging on him. Probably because Slade, is after them because of him, because he got on the news and talking about we're back and everything. So, like, when he's training with Beast Boy and Raven and stuff, they're blindfolded with kendo sticks. Something happens with Raven when she loses control of her powers and herself, and she just straight up, like, attacks him with her power and nearly chokes him out. And when he recovers, he calls her a freak, which hurts her feelings and this and that. But then people give him a hard time about, him going on his own and this and that. But he has Rose to comfort him because, they're like love interests and stuff. But then it's like things he don't even do, they blame him for. Because, like, something happened. I forget what, but he's in his Robin's costume. And they got attacked by someone. It was probably Dr. Light or probably Slade or something like that. I don't know who exactly. But he fell from, like, the balcony and everything. And so he's falling, like, hundreds of feet from, like, the skyscraper building. And he's literally about to die until Superboy saved him and stuff. Now, I don't know why he just didn't reach for his grapple gun. We know they have one because Dick's Robin had one in season 1, but we haven't seen nothing like that since. It's like they forget about all the gadgets in this show. Because you don't see no, like, Batarang, Birdarang, nothing like that. And so, like, because of that, he has PTSD, where he just can't cope with himself no more, almost dying from falling down from a building. It's even to the point where he's gonna, like, off himself by jumping off the top of a building, and Dick has to, like, calm him down. So with all of that, they're still ragging on this dude because something happened to where everything that they like starts to, like, appear. Donna has orange soda, which, Aqualad used to give her. What's her name? Rose Brothers Jericho's, like, music album thing reappeared out of nowhere. Hank had, like, a bottle of alcohol. And so, and then something with Raven, I forgot. And they thought, like, oh, it must be Jason taunting us and everything. Putting stuff here, knowing that we love this stuff and we can't have it no more. And he's all like, dude, how am I able to do all this? Like, I don't know what y'all like. And I didn't do that. I didn't go in y'all rooms. And they just rag on him to the point where he breaks down and almost is in tears. They really could care less about this dude. And so when he finds out what Dick did to Jericho, he's all like, screw this. Him and, like, Rose go off. And then they just start doing it, and they broke into somebody's, like, place and eating their food. And so then she reveals that, well, first she wants him to reveal something intimate about himself. So he takes her to his old school about how he used to hang in the rafters up in their, like, theater building and stuff and just watch all the plays and everything. I'm all like, wow, I would never think that would come from him. But she doesn't want to reveal nothing about herself, so that pisses him off and everything. He's all like, oh, I can reveal myself, but you can't reveal, like, anything about you. So then she finally tells him the truth about how, like, she's working with her father to like off everybody. And that pisses him off even more. And then when the Titans need all of them, she goes, but he doesn't want to. So this speculated from fans that he was going to turn into Red Hood in the third season. After Donna dies and everything, he goes to like the airport and like looks at everybody, but won't talk to nobody, but just looks at like, Dick, and then rides off on the motorcycle. By the third season, yes, he is still Robin, still doing things on his own, not listening to Batman, and gets killed by the Joker, only to get resurrected, and does the whole Red Hood story arc, which was really lame and stupid. But I just couldn't believe how much they trashed on this dude this season. Now, Starfire had a lot of like to do character development and stuff. Mostly she had a lot of solo stuff. Like a lot of episodes revolved around her and was split up into like other characters and stuff. Mainly she dealt with this alien dude from her home planet, a guy she used to sleep with who's like her bodyguard and stuff. And he keeps telling her, you need to come back home. I've been sent to collect you. You need to take the throne because your parents are now dead and everything. And your sister is trying to take the throne, Blackfire and stuff. She doesn't want to, but she hangs out with him and even does a little like, stealing stuff here and there. But they have like a great time hanging out and he really, really likes her. She dupes him by putting him in her spaceship and let it fly off because she wants to stay on Earth with all her friends. The whole relationship between her and Dick from season 1 is completely over, and it doesn't get brought up again until season 4. Like, what the world? But then her alien friend dude comes back. But this time he has a bug in his ear. Blackfire and their alien technology put some purple goop in his ear, and it took control of his mind. So now it's Blackfire pretending to be him. And so when she tries to convince her sister to get back on her ship, instead, it doesn't work. And she realizes it's her sister conning her. So in order for her to save her friend and former lover, she has to burn him alive and kill him, which really hurts her because she really cared about this dude. Not only that, but she found out Blackfire murdered her parents and stuff. So I assume like, oh man, they're gonna really do this Blackfire arc, like this big, huge like alien type invasion or something like that, right? No. It was a huge letdown in season 3. And somehow it doesn't make no sense. Okay, so like after this, she can no longer use her firepower and she don't know what the world's going on. And when Rachel Power starts to trick everybody and she goes to that diner, she just starts wanting donuts and literally about to burn the lady alive if she doesn't give her donuts, which was kind of a funny little bit. But I will say out of everybody this season, she probably has the second most character development. And then all of a sudden, like, she heals that of like Connor because he got shot with a kryptonite bullet, and she can even speak Kryptonian and stuff. But she says it's a dead language because everybody there is dead. How she knows Kryptonian? Heck if I know. I guess it was taught to them on that alien planet. But then her spaceship blows up. Now this is the part that don't make no sense. Her spaceship is completely blown up, and by like at the end, the very end of the season, she can no longer use her powers, and Blackfire with that purple goop stuff went into a woman's head and transformed her body into Blackfire. So now this woman's appearance is completely gone and she has 2 kids. Like I said before, I thought there was going to be an alien invasion, but there wasn't. Basically, as soon as she came on Earth, like the government kidnapped her. And I forget, either they have her spaceship or they reworked or they rebuilt Starfire's spaceship. I can't remember which one in the 3rd season. But it's like, okay, if they can use purple goop to take over people's bodies and appearances and stuff like that, why did Starfire come over in like a spaceship? And also like the purple goop, how is that Blackfire? I don't get that. Like, I don't understand how that transforms a person. Is she still on her planet? Did she liquefy to that purple goop? Like, what's going on? But then by the 3rd season, I think I don't know what they said. I don't know if the purple goop separated from the woman or the woman is still gone. Or so. It's hard to explain because this show can't really explain it. But it's just a huge letdown. And, it took them a long time to correct her powers and stuff. And it's just, they gave her a better wig. Thank God for that. But she still doesn't have her costume. But then by the third season, she has a more traditional looking Starfire outfit, which is like, how did she get that exactly? It can't be alien tech, but I think it is. But all her alien stuff has been blown up now. So, it is what it is, I guess, when it comes to this show. Now, Hawk and Dove go through a really interesting transition this season. In the beginning, they left the Titans and they're living out in the woods in a wooden cabin. They just want to be completely isolated and they don't want to do the vigilante stuff no more. Instead, they're helping troubled kids trying to get off drugs and this and that. And Hank is very chill. He's very calm and everything. He's off drugs and alcohol. But it's Dove who is like, the one still going out at night, put on a costume, beating people up. She's supposed to be the calm one, and he's supposed to be the angry one. But even in the first season, she was cutting dudes left and right with her wings and everything. So this causes a problem in their relationship. She just can't leave that lifestyle alone. Now, one thing that's super confusing is the relationship with Dick. In this season, it's shown that her and Dick used to be boyfriend and girlfriend in flashbacks back when the Titans were a thing, the older group. And Hank was completely okay with that. But in season 1, he was shocked to find out that Dove and Robin had a thing together. It was almost like they had an affair. And that pissed him off. So this don't make no sense in relations to season 1. It's like I said before. Every season seems to restart and they forget what happened in the previous season. And so, like, Dr. Light gets out and he kills that drug boy who they were trying to help. So this causes them to go back to the Titans and everything. And when they leave for a second time, Hank decides he no longer wants nothing to do with Dove for some bizarre reason. I don't know why, but he wants to go his own separate way. See, this happened after they was in the karaoke bar, and my God, I never knew Alan Richardson could sing. And he can sing and dance. And so when they left there, the mother of that boy blamed them for, getting her son killed by Dr. Light. It's like everybody knows their secret identity. I'm not even joking. Every villain knows their secret identity. Even some townspeople know their secret identity. So why do they wear masks? I don't understand that. So because of all this crap, he decides to leave Dove and everything, which breaks her heart. And when he leaves her for just the dumbest reason and stuff, he still puts on his suit and he's in cage fights now. And now he's back to getting drunk and high. This don't make no sense. He left her, so why is he so upset? I don't get that. He could still have her. Now, he mentioned about what happened to him in season 1, the flashbacks when he was a kid. Him getting assaulted when he was young by his coach. And shocking, Alan Richardson finally revealed something like that happened to him back in the day. He was assaulted and everything. I never would have guessed that. I feel so terrible for the dude, And so, like, eventually, he sells his costume to, like, some random teenage guy in a hotel living by himself. And when he tried to bang this one woman, the drugs had made him really tiny, where he became like a 10-second man. But then it's like weird because the teenage boy knows his identity now because he sold him the suit. He got it back from him and everything. Then try to help the little homeless teenage boy and everything. And then goes back to help like the group. But of course, Dove doesn't want nothing to do with him anymore. It's just weird how they wrote them. Like at first it started to be interesting, but then after, like I said, after that Superboy episode, the writers just lost faith in their show and screwed it up. Raven is very odd this season. Basically, she has a new wig, which looks a whole lot better than last season. But like I said, her powers have changed. But she doesn't do much this season. She just hangs around the young cast members. And she talks to Dick every once in a while. And she really has bonded with, like, Starfire this season. Only because that's how, like, they were in, like, the old cartoon series. So they tried to do something similar to that. But then the rest of her just doesn't make no sense this season. She's just there with no real storyline, and her powers are acting out. Basically, she kind of has the powers of a genie. Whatever the person's heart's desire, her powers kind of make that happen. So I think that's the reason why Donna had, like, the orange soda, Hank, the bottle of alcohol, Rose's Jericho album and stuff like that. And so when she gets pissed at Dick for the whole Jericho thing, she decides she's gonna leave with Donna. Don't know why, they barely interact with each other. But then this doesn't make no sense after that. Once she's in the cab with Donna, she tells her, like, I can't let you do this and that, and we have to help Dick or something like that. So she kind of like locks Donna into the cab and just walks off and leave by herself. Okay. And then she goes to like a soup kitchen and starts eating there because now she's homeless. And it's like, you have a home at Titan's Tower and don't know why you're so pissed at Dick for. And so then she befriends like a homeless girl. And the homeless girl has a father that's very abusive. So somehow her powers at the went up into the sky and made a stone gargoyle real and killed her father. This goes absolutely really nowhere. Then all of a sudden, she has a premonition about Dick being in trouble, about to die and everything. And so she knows nobody's going to want to help him out. So somehow, her powers make everybody go to this diner. And when they're there, nobody knows why they're there, not even her. Then all of a sudden, Bruce Wayne shows up and talks to them and everything, but it's not really him, it's Raven. Somehow her powers are projecting all this and it's never really explained. Then when Gar gets in trouble, she talks to him and everything to calm him down. And then she decides to go back to Donna's Wonder Woman's homeland to see if they can help her understand who she is with her powers. How? They're not magical. Her powers are demonic. Theirs is like old Greek god magic and stuff. It's literally, they had nothing for her this season, like whatsoever. And then they had nothing for her in the next season either. Beast Boy, as always, is just there. Doesn't really do much, you know what I'm saying? He hangs out with Jason, gets caught by like Deathstroke, run to go tell Dick and all that. But then when Superboy shows up, he has to babysit him. And so we see this montage of him doing everything, making a journal, trying to act comedic. They overplayed the greenness with him. His shoes are green, his jacket, his shirt, his video game controller is green. And so he's hanging out with like Superboy, but Superboy goes crazy and starts killing a bunch of cops. And so he runs back to the Titan's Tower and crawls up in the ball scared. Until eventually he's captured by Canvas and everything. And they open up his skull and they experiment on his brain, controlling him. Now, whenever he hears a certain type of music, he kills people in his tiger form, only for, like, Raven to talk him down and this and that. Because I think somebody punched the crap out of him. It was Donna, I think, and sent him flying to where somehow it knocked out the brainwashing stuff. And that's literally it. They never have anything for this dude to do. Mercy is our third villain, and she was really cool. This is the most scariest I've ever seen Mercy. Mercy's always scary, but she's the valet, hench girl to Lex Luthor in the cartoons and in the comics and stuff like that. And she's a gunslinger. This one's not a gunslinger, but she's just ferocious. The stare she gives, she's angry, she's mean. People are terrified of her, but she's terrified of Lex. So when she gets that phone call and she knows she's in trouble, she is pissed scared. So you think this Lex must be really, really evil, right? Not really. We see him in season 4 and he's not scary. And then something happens to him in season 4. Like, really? You brought him in just for that and that's it? But, like, she's the one who's been appointed to take over Canvas and stuff. And, Cadmus is like, that evil government facility that, like, experiments on metahumans. And they the one who made Superboy. He gets out and she has to recapture him. When she's unable to do that, she shoots him for some bizarre reason with a kryptonite bullet. Don't know why. If she wants to recapture him like she wanted to and brainwash him, why not just throw kryptonite at him and lock him up? She put a kryptonite collar around Crypto. So why in the world is she gonna shoot him for while he's in the hands of the Titans? It just don't make no sense because the writers don't make no sense. Dr. Light is our second villain. There's nothing impressive about him. Like, at least we got to see him use his powers, but he's just a pissed off villain who hates the Titans because he spent so many years in jail, and now that Slade got him out. The only thing we ever see him do with his powers is just absorb light from like a light bulb, and that's it. And he'll hit out a couple of like light beams, but nothing too impressive. And he was a really sad excuse for a villain because Slade just ended up killing him anyway. Superboy was a nice addition to this show. He was cool, and like I said before, his solo episode was the best in the entire season, if not the entire series. He basically has the mind of a child in the body of a teenager and everything. He's that of Superman and Lex's clone. And when he escapes, he just strolls around the city with Crypto trying to figure things out, but he's having these memories. So he goes out so first he needs he wants this Superman shirt that's black with a red S on it. Like it is in the comics, his shirt that he wears. He doesn't have no money. So when he stops a robbery, this woman thinks he's gonna harm her. He's like, get whatever you want. He's like, ooh, can I have your money? So then he buys the shirt and he heads to Kansas. And there he goes to a farm. We assume it's the Kent farm, but it's the Luthor farm. It's Lionel Luthor, Lex's dad. And those two start to talk a little bit, but then he starts to realize that Lionel Luthor was a bad man who used to beat Lex. So then all of a sudden Cadmus comes in and he just beats up the guards left and right. And he protects that of Lionel Luthor. He's not killing nobody, he's just beating the snot out of them. And so this doctor lady that cloned him, she's been tasked with trying to get him back. But those two end up bonding so much that she helps him escape and everything. This is when he gets shot by Mercy. And then the Titans have him when he's in a coma. Starfire does her flame stuff to get him some radiation. And then he's healed. And so after that, him and the doctor lady had some of the best moments together. Because she told him, just don't save nobody, just stay out of sight, because they'll find you and this and that. And then when he decides he wants to be a hero, she's like, all right, well then just be good and everything. And it's even to the point where he wants to call her mom. And this is the type of episode people have been wanting to see, an actual compassionate episode, not this dark gritty crap. But then afterwards, for some bizarre reason, when he's out with Gar, he sees these cops and is all like, oh, I guess they're beating up on this bad guy. So he gets it mixed up in his head because, he's basically just been born to bring up a child and trying to figure things out. And he ends up killing the cops and everything, which is weird because he didn't kill the security guards or nothing. But then when they recapture him, they turn him into a killing machine. And they send him out on a festival, kind of like a fair festival, along with Beast Boy and everything. Him and Donna have a small skirmish, but then, he's later I forget how they unbrainwash him and everything. But they eventually do. Jericho is the son of Slade Wilson. And he did not start off deaf. And He's just this nice, happy-go-lucky boy and everything who befriends Dick because Dick is trying to get to his father. They bond. He takes him back to Titan's Tower, exposing all their identities and everything. And he tells him how his dad's a terrible person because of how he went deaf. See, he lost his voice because one day an assassin came to kill Slade. After something went off and glass went everywhere, it went in his throat. So he knows his dad's a terrible, bad person. He wants really nothing to do with him. So when Dick goes to, like, fight, no, first, he tells, what's his name, Jericho, like, to stay out of this and stuff like that. Dick goes and fall on him and follows him back to a church because Jericho went to where Slade was. Robin and Slade fought. And when Jericho tried to stop it, Slade turned around and stabbed him in the chest. This version of Jericho can mind control people. That's his ability. He was able to do it before he died. And so when he died, he went inside his dad's consciousness. So he's been living inside his dad the entire time. And like I said before, when Dick went inside Slade's mind because of Raven, he talked to Jericho and everything, and then Rose ended up stabbing that of Slade, and then he went inside Rose's body, and those two just got completely written off like the entire series after season 2. So season 2 is a mess. It didn't start off that way. It started off actually pretty interesting and stuff. But then after a while, they lost their way like they always do when writing this show. Normally, when every season starts, they do pretty good in the first couple of episodes, but then towards the middle and the end, they just lose focus and then they just ruin the show. And yes, the show is now canceled, thank God, because it's kind of like the cast deserve better, the fans deserve better than what these writers ever gave us. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.